So this is going to be a look at the new Bandai Solo Chogokin DX Mechagodzilla 1974, which was just released. At least it was just released to me. I bought this through Kappa Hobby. Kappa Hobby had a really good price, and I have to tell you, I've ordered probably 4 or 5 items from Kappa Hobby, and their packaging is exceptional. They get the product there very quickly. It probably takes 3-4 days, sometimes less than that. But I'm really, really impressed with Kappa Hobby. They have done an exceptional job. So this figure is quite amazing. I'm a little bit surprised at how good it is. I also have the 2002 Mechagodzilla Solo Chogokin, but it's not a DX version. So it's a little disappointing that they're not in scale, but such is life. So this one is a whole lot of metal. You can't really tell because a lot of times the plastic will look like metal. This feels like everything is metal. All through here, this is plastic, but all of this feels like metal. Everywhere, these are plastic. This weighs in, I weighed it, it's 2 pounds, 1 ounces. So this is heavy. And it is quite a bit heavier than the 2002 Solo Chogokin Mechagodzilla. And I haven't really inspected how close it looks to the movie, but I'm willing to bet that it's probably just about perfect. They even have the grill in here, which is where the actor would look through. So this is a absolutely gorgeous figure, which comes with a lot of extras. Now, the way to put the batteries in, and pretty much every figure I own, the batteries are like specialized batteries, or they're batteries, the kind of batteries you'd put in a watch. This one actually required 2 AAA batteries. So this piece here on the tail will pull off. Then there's a panel in there that will unscrew, and it unscrewed very easily. I suggest getting a small screwdriver. And then you put the AA batteries in. There's no switch for turning it on. It's just on all the time. Now, it has, you can see here, the stand, which I'm going to be using the stand when I display him. It has a brace down here because even though the tail is plastic, it does put some weight back here, and so it could fall backwards. So that's why they include the brace. Which, thank you, Bandai. That was good. So let's go through what the extras are, what the gimmicks are. It's mostly related to sound. So the dorsal spines back here act as buttons, each one of the spines. So we'll go through and look at the various features. So there's the music from the movie, and his eyes light up. Okay. All right. A little sound effect from his attacks. Okay. His roar. So his chest beam, and his eyes are all changing blue, you can see. Okay. Feel around back here. Did I push the same button twice? I'm not sure. That may be when he's launching into flight mode. Okay, so I believe that's it. Now, in the movie, one of the things he did, now his eyes are staying lit up, but they will go off after a few minutes. In the movie, one of the things he did was he would twist his head around, and so it can do that. His hands would spin around. They don't. They're kind of on maybe on a spring or something. So they kind of snap around, but that's it. They don't appear to. Now the instructions are all well, unfortunate for me, but they're all in Japanese, so I can't read them. But a lot of times the pictures will tell all. But there are some things like I'm not sure with the hands here what it's telling me, but they will. Oh, it looks like it's showing a button or something. I don't know. I'll have to investigate it more. Now, it can go into a flying mode. And the flying mode, I have another, I think it's the SH Monster Arts figure, Mechagodzilla. Not this Mechagodzilla, but I believe the Heisei Mechagodzilla. And it can go into flight mode just by tilting it. You kind of pull the head up and then tilt it back. This one, you have to actually remove the head. And then we have a second head, which will be for the flight mode. This one does not, the jaw does not move open and close. The jaw in here will open and shut. So now there's nothing to hold it in flight mode. So you'd either have to construct something yourself or, I don't know, lay it down. But this tail would also be used for flight mode. And then the picture in here will show, there is a picture of, so that's what he looks like when he's in flight mode. But I don't really see a reason for that. So thank you for including them, Bandai. They'll go in a box and sit there. So I am a huge fan of Mechagodzilla. I like every single Toho design of Mechagodzilla. I hate the Monster Verse version because it looks nothing like this. What I really like about the original one, and I don't know if it was a conscious decision or if it was simply necessity based on the fact of the limitations of the costume, but he barely moved. He would just kind of stand there and then just kind of, shoot his weapons, and it gave him a real sense of menace because, particularly, and I know this movie for some reason gets derided a lot, but Terror of Mechagodzilla, in which Mechagodzilla teamed up with, so his light eyes went off, where he teams up with Titanosaurus, and I loved that one. Yes, the fighting is rather hokey, which was probably just a limitation of what they could do with the suits, but I absolutely loved that one. And so you'd have Titanosaurus out there, very active and mobile, and then Mechagodzilla in the background, just this quiet, looming threat, and he would have weapons all over. This one, it would be, I guess, kind of cool because in the movie, Godzilla cranks his head off, and then there's another beam that's even more destructive underneath, and that's not really what I think that this stem that's in there is only for the light up feature. It's clearly not intended to look like what was in the movie. So, that'd be cool, but we can't have everything. So that's actually all the gimmicks. It's a little surprising that there aren't more gimmicks, but I don't really care. It's not that big a deal. Even if I'm surprised, it doesn't mean I'm disappointed, because this is just, I don't know if there's ever been a better Showa Mechagodzilla than this. This may be the finest ever created. And if you're a fan of Godzilla and a fan of Mechagodzilla, and you got the disposable income, this was over $300. This is definitely something that not only will look fantastic on a shelf, but it is just amazing. Now, you could have a figure like this that's all plastic, like a $40 figure, and visually it might look very similar, but with the articulation, with the volume of metal, if somebody were to go in and touch it, it's like, wow, that is a gorgeous figure. So yeah, I am not disappointed with this. I think it's absolutely everything I was hoping for and more. I wasn't disappointed in the 2002 Mechagodzilla, the Solar Chogokin, but it was a lot of plastic. I was actually quite surprised at how much plastic it was. Not that it was a bad figure at all. I just expected more metal, and most of the metal is at the bottom. This one was surprising in just the volume of metal, a ton. So, like I said, it's over 2 pounds, and it is beautiful. So that is Bandai Solar Chogokin DX Mechagodzilla 1974.